Good evening, this is Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, the big story, a Muslim man burnt alive in Rajasthan and all of it on video, all in the name of love jihad. Has Muslim hate become the new normal? And a huge political row breaks out over Manishankar Iyer's latest comments against the Prime Minister. Rahul Gandhi tells him to apologise. Has the discourse in the Gujarat campaign been the lowest of the low? We'll look at that a little later. But first, our big focus tonight, the horrific murder of a Muslim man in Rajasthan yet again. This time, the victim was burnt alive by the accused, who brutally killed his victim first by hacking him with an axe and then burning him. He also filmed it, accompanied by a communal rant.
Brutal, barbaric, chilling. Afrazul, a 45-year-old labourer from West Bengal, hacked to death and then his body burnt in the most brazen and horrific manner by this man who got his inhuman act recorded and then went on to mouth the most chilling communal rant, saying that he killed the man because of love jihad and listed a number of reasons from Ayodhya to Hindu history to films like PK and Padmavati. For his barbaric act, he warns Muslims that all will be killed in similar fashion if love jihad isn't stopped.
उसको अरेस्ट कर लिया, पकड़ लिया है. अब बाकी तो उससे पूछताछ की ही आगे की क्या बात है वो तो उसके बाद बनेगी.
What's also bone-chilling is that he got his minor nephew to record his act. In another video, he's seen mouthing communal lines as his minor daughter looks on. The gruesome video went viral and the police arrested the man.
ऐसा काम करने वाला आदमी वो सिरफिराई होगा. It perhaps is one of those rarest of the rare cases जिसमें at the end of trial हम भी फांसी की सजा की मांग करेंगे.
Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has also condemned the killing, asking how can people be so inhuman. Afrazul's killing is the latest in a series of communal attacks on Muslims. From Pehlu Khan to Umar Khan, who were killed by cow vigilantes, to a Muslim folk singer who was murdered by people in his own village. Rajasthan has seen a sharp rise in brazen anti-Muslim attacks. But none of these attacks have been booked by the cops under communal violence sections, so they don't add to the state's tally of communal violence.
There is no fear of law. There is no government in the state.
A hate crime, a murder recorded on video, and then a rant, spewing venom and hatred designed to polarize the atmosphere in society. But for now, the Rajasthan police are playing safe. They say the real motive for this murder can only be established once investigations are complete. In Jaipur with cameraman Shamshu Zoha, Harsha Kumari Singh, NDTV.
New normal, particularly in Rajasthan, where we're seeing one incident after another taking place. Professor Rakesh Sinha of the RSS here in the studio with us. Senior journalist Sabha Naqvi also joins us tonight. We're joined by senior advocate Prashant Bhushan, activist Rahul Ishwar, and from the Congress will be joined by Priyanka Chaturvedi. Sabha, I'll take this question to you first. Vasundhara Raje has actually issued a statement in the last hour or so condemning this killing, calling it a deplorable act and appreciating the prompt police action. Is it enough though? Because why is this happening repeatedly in Rajasthan? And look at the impunity with which this man, did this crime. I mean, it wasn't just a murder. He filmed it. He was brazen about it. He thought he could get away with it.
So everybody, after such heinous acts, everybody always says we are against it and we don't support any violence. But I think we seriously have to examine that you are creating the conditions for people to think they can get away with such violence, where they think they're part of this cult of hatred targeting a particular community. So I think even people like Rakesh Sinha would be worried that is this what we want the direction for India to head in? And Vasundhara Raje, what happened in the Pehlu Khan case, where I think that has set a precedent, and she must explain her actions.
And the men who killed Pehlu Khan have walked away.
Have all walked away, and his dying declaration, all these details are there. So if you're letting people get away with murder, then more people will commit murder. It's as simple as that.
So Rakesh Sinha, the question I think today is that is this the new normal? To target Muslims and to hate Muslims?
Nidhi, you started with that the hate Muslim has growing. I think the fraternity between Hindu and Muslim is so strong at the grassroots level. You go to the villages, you go to the small towns. These debates damage more than what has been happening. I am telling two things here. You know, the police has taken the action. Even before that, you just see in Haryana and other parts of the country, there has been honor killing in the name of marriage. Only difference is that here a Muslim and Hindu is involved. And that person has used, perhaps I don't know if he has used or not used, love jihad as a title. Love jihad as a title.
Yeah,
and I think he's a mentally sick person. He's not only criminal, he's also mentally sick. Because he's making video, he is knowing that he would be arrested after that. He is trying to glorify his act. I think this is a case of a law and order. Police have taken action, and we should congratulate the police that they have taken the action. Otherwise, it would have been played up as the Hindu-Muslim question. Second important thing, that we should not make a garland of the heinous crimes. If you make a garland of that crime, then you make a meta-narrative. That meta-narrative creates a clear division between Hindu and Muslim.
What is a garland of a heinous crime?
Hindu means akhlaq, then Pahlu Khan, then this incident. There are incidents, definitely there are incidents, but they are the different context, different kind of crimes. And I hope that Rajasthan police, in your show, I said that Rajasthan police is a moral and legal duty of the Rajasthan police to arrest those people who have committed the crime. If you have left some people, you said that these people are not responsible, then you have to arrest some people because someone has killed.
Is this just a law and order issue?
No.
Is this just a law and order issue, or is there a bigger narrative that's playing out? Look at the way this man did this.
No, I don't think it is a part of a bigger narrative.
He thinks he can get away with it.
No.
He's talking about love
in Haryana,
jihad.
because if he would have been a Jat or the woman who had been a Dalit, then would have been the narrative of anti-Dalit.
Yes.
Anti-Dalit.
Dalits are
definitely
also killed.
anti-Dalit.
And those are also valid issues
what
to
I
take
am
up.
telling that there is a sociological question involved in the process of marriage.
There is no sociological question
yes,
in murder.
There is sociological question.
What is that?
Nidhi, you have to accept.
What is
all
the
the people are
sociological
not enlightened like us. That our sons and daughters get married in intercaste, and we say it's fine.
When the ruling party perpetuates the myth of a theory called love jihad, which is nonsense.
I have two quick points.
What is the atmosphere that it creates?
Nobody can support. Nobody. It is a black spot on India.
Sabha wants
just
to
a
say
second. I'm telling just 30. I'm completing.
Please,
You know, this is a feudal order, and we have not fought against the feudal order. This is the biggest thing in India that we have.
Who is talking about love jihad? It's the ruling dispensation which is talking about something as absurd as love jihad.
Nidhi, Rakesh ji, you're talking about a feudal order. We are going back to some kind of primitive age. Now the question of love jihad, this suggestion that somehow that it is happening and it is unacceptable, it is happening. Are you sort of suggesting a Muslim boy and a Muslim girl talking to each other? These kind of friendships. We know so many people who have cross-married in India. And so this constant trying to justify that there is some sinister.
Prashant Bhushan, is this just a breakdown of law and order? Because clearly on one hand it shows that there is no fear of law in Rajasthan. It shows that these incidents can keep happening and there is no fear of repercussion. And at the same time, there's clearly also an atmosphere of impunity that exists. Mr. Bhushan.
Yes, it's not a normal breakdown of law and order. It's a breakdown of law and order which is being promoted by the ruling dispensation. When they promote or when they applaud the killers of Akhlaq, when the minister Sharma goes and drapes the tricolor around him, applauds him, etc. When ministers go around saying that yes, we will break the bones of those people who kill cows, etc. When ministers go around saying that yes, these Muslim boys are enticing Hindu women, and whenever you see a Muslim boy with a Hindu woman, you should beat up that Muslim man, etc. When this kind of narrative is being spun out by those who are in power today, when people who oppose this are being subjected to the filthiest, vilest abuses, when killers of Gauri Lankesh are applauded on social media, and the persons who are applauding the killers of Gauri Lankesh are the persons being felicitated and followed by the Prime Minister on Twitter, etc., you are clearly creating a climate and an atmosphere where such crimes are bound to grow. And on top of that, when you allow the killers to get away with impunity, as you are doing in case after case after case, especially in BJP ruled states, then this is going to be the result. There is going to be an extreme breakdown, not just of law and order, a breakdown of civilization itself. I have been saying, I was the first person among the persons to oppose the emergency. I believe that the emergency was a great threat to democracy, great threat to civil liberties. What we are seeing today, by way of not just destruction of institutions in this country, but by way of destruction of all civilized values, that today, unfortunately, the ruling dispensation has brought civilization itself in this country under very, very severe threat.
I want to take what you said about the destruction of civilized values. Rakesh, I'll let you make that political point in just a moment. But Rahul Ishwar, I can't imagine anybody who would look at this video today and not feel absolutely sick to their stomach. And yet, when you go online in particular and you look at the reactions by so many people online to this and the kind of justification that they're making for this, it makes you sick about what kind of society we have become. Don't you think we need to ask ourselves about this destruction of civilized values? Should we be proud of this?
Nidhi ji, as a practicing Hindu, I am ashamed and I am horrified by what happened today. It is absolutely unacceptable, and on pretext of whatsoever it is, a burning alive a man, it is something we see in the movies which depict the Middle Ages. It is absolutely horrifying and shocking. So, I am an activist which has pointed out to many forced conversions, but let me be with every responsibility say, just like on 2004 September 10, Venkaiah Naidu ji, who distanced himself from asserting and using the word love jihad, and November 6, 2017, when Rekha Sharma, National Commission of Women, who came to Kerala, said, I don't want to use the word love jihad. See, the narrative of love jihad is a very inflammatory narrative. There are some forced conversions. Let us be very clear about it. But that forced conversion, when you use the word love jihad, that's a very inflammatory and that's a very infuriating kind of narrative which can provoke actions and counter reactions. Whenever such forced conversions are happening, that's the reason why people like me, who has been raising the issue in Kerala, has at first took a very clear stand that we won't use the word love jihad and we want to distance from the word love jihad. But at the same point of time, if there are some forced conversions, as in the case of Nimisha Fatima, we will use a very responsible and constitutional word called forced conversions, and we want an anti-forced conversion
law. So you believe that an atmosphere has been created,
and the communal temperature of the...
No, Rahul, do you believe therefore that there is an atmosphere that is politically been created that is enabling people to feel emboldened to do this and to feel that they can get away with it?
I wouldn't blame any political party, but I would definitely request to all the Hindu-minded parties to toe the line of Venkaiah Naidu ji, who is right now our Vice President, and Rekha Sharma, who has been the Haryana media in charge of BJP and now the National Commission for Women. And I hope senior our Hindu leaders will take a cue from them. And there is an issue, but there is a narrative that needs to be put. The articulation needs to be right. And forced conversions, I am not a pseudo-secular to close my eyes towards it. But at the same point of time, we should be responsible enough that the communal temperature of the nation doesn't rise and create such kind of reactions which will in effect provoke a counter reaction, and we are all unsafe in the long run. Both Hindus, Muslims and every community will be unsafe if we are going to toe this extremely polarizing narrative which is going to be divisive and which is going to harm all our children, whether they belong to any religion.
Well, there's no argument with that. And you're right. There are instances of forced conversions. No one's going to sit here and deny that. It's this whole narrative, as you rightly said, is an inflammatory narrative and a false narrative of love jihad, which has created this kind of atmosphere right now, which, Priyanka, I must ask you, because Rakesh Sinha says on the ground there is very much a narrative of Hindu-Muslim unity, and there may well be that. But today, I think we can say that a lot of India's Muslims do feel deeply insecure about what's going on. When these incidents happen, it resonates around the country. It resonates in Jammu and Kashmir, in the Kashmir Valley. And that is something we all need to worry about.
Absolutely. And if it does not worry an RSS thinker, spokesperson and, someone who calls himself a doctor, then it's a bigger cause for worry. Now, this victim was not a victim of the breakdown of law and order in Rajasthan. He's a victim of the all-pervasive environment that has been created, where people are distrusting each other because of the religion that they belong to. And this is something which has been perpetuating ever since we saw Mr. Modi's silence on various such issues, whether it was Pehlu Khan or the other issues that we were speaking about the tricolour being draped on an accused of Muhammad Akhlaq. So this is an environment which needs to be challenged, an environment which has been created because of the silence of those in power, whether it is in Rajasthan or whether it is at the centre. So it's extremely unfortunate that today we see people coming and justifying this inhuman act, because at the end of the day, what we are losing out is on humanity, just because we are trying to show that we have a bigger thing to do, which is to protect our religions. We are making one religion fight against another, not just in Rajasthan but across the country, and this is only going to lead to further disaster. I usually don't agree with Rahul Ishwar, but today I have to be in agreement with Rahul Ishwar that this kind of narrative has to stop, and someone who is in power has to take onus for what we see. This is a heinous crime, and we ensure that the Rajasthan government needs to ensure that justice is done and people are severely punished for what just transpired. What I find extremely shocking is there is a 14-year-old who's asked to record the entire incident. What narrative are we setting? What future generation are we bringing into this country? Or the knowledge we are imparting to our children if this becomes the norm?